I used to smoke. Not a lot, not even every day, but it was enough to be a problem for me. So then I stopped. And for a long time, I didn't think about smoking at all until I played Yakuza. And for some reason, the game made smoking feel really good again. And no, not in a literal sense. I'm not telling you to go pick up a pack. I'm not even saying that it made me start smoking again. But it reminded me of something I hadn't felt in a long time. How powerful a bad habit can be, especially when a game understands what that bad habit can represent. Several years ago, I picked up Yakuza 0. Great game, maybe even top 3 on my all-time list. It was my introduction to the series, and from there, I just kept going. And pretty quickly, something started to stand out. There was a lot of smoking. You get a cutscene in a bar, they're smoking. After a fight, they're smoking. You can have a gut-wrenching dialogue scene, and someone's lighting up a dart. Hell, if you stand idle long enough, Kiryu pulls one out like it's nothing. Like this is just a normal part of his life. At first, it just feels like set dressing. It's just part of the atmosphere. But the more you see it, the harder it is to ignore. This isn't happening once. It happens constantly. Where some games give you a moment to breathe and rest, Yakuza gives you that breath, but with cigarette smoke attached to it. It all starts feeling like a pattern. It starts to feel less and less like a small detail. And a pattern like that doesn't really exist by accident. See, in Yakuza, smoking isn't just smoking. There's very specific instances when it occurs. For instance, after the chaos ends, like clearing a room full of guys, or right when things should feel unstable, like in a bar trying to figure out what your next move is. Right when someone else would be trying to catch their breath, that's when a cigarette comes out. It's deliberate, and honestly, that's what makes it feel real. It's calm and it's controlled, and I think that's the key. In most games, a character finishes a fight and you get noise, movement, energy, release. But in Yakuza, you get this stillness. A character stands there, unshaken, lights a cigarette, and then just exists in that very moment. Almost as if what just happened didn't faze them. And this isn't just exclusive to fights. It shows up in conversations too. Tense scenes with high stakes, people arguing, emotions running high. And one person is just sitting there, enjoying a smoke. Not reacting, not escalating, just in control. And once you start looking at it like that, it becomes pretty clear. The characters who smoke in Yakuza aren't the ones losing control. They're the ones who are in control. Smoking isn't just framed as something cool that cool guys do. It's there to show you who's in control of their emotions. The reason that feeling comes across so clearly is because of how Yakuza presents it. These moments aren't rushed. They linger in a very cinematic way. The camera doesn't cut away immediately. It stays on the character. You watch the cigarette come out. You watch it get lit. You watch the inhale and the exhale. Nothing sped up or skipped, and I think that's probably the most important thing. Most games would cut this. They try to get you back into the action as fast as possible, but Yakuza does the opposite. The moment is kind of slowed down. You hear the lighter flick, the inhale, followed by silence. Suddenly, the scene isn't about what just happened anymore. It's about how the character's handling it. That's why it feels so different. You aren't just being shown someone smoking. It's making you feel the control that comes with that cigarette. The reason this stands out so much now is because most games stopped doing this entirely. Or at least, they changed what it means. Smoking didn't completely disappear. It still exists in modern games. Take Red Dead Redemption 2 as an example. You can smoke in that game. It's a mechanic. You select your cigarette, press the button, Arthur lights the cigarette, and it restores your dead eye. It's useful, but it's not the same. It's quick, it's functional, and it's disposable. It's never something that you're meant to sit on. You're meant to use it. And that's the big difference. In Yakuza, smoking slows the moment down. In modern games, everything is built to keep things moving because the industry changed. With an increase in budgets and timelines getting longer, every second of a game needs to justify itself. Slow and quiet moments that are non-interactive, they don't survive a shift like that. So they get cut. Or worse, they get turned into some useful mechanic. Something that gets optimized as opposed to something that tells you who a character is. With Red Dead as the example still, you never have a moment when author is like, "Damn, Dutch, that was crazy. Let me have a smoke about it." With that, you lose something. Not just smoking, but the ability for a game to show you a character without rushing past them. The reason Yakuza 0 was able to do this is because it comes from a completely different place. This was definitely a product of its time. You see, Yakuza 0 takes place in 1988 during Japan's peak bubble economy. At this time, smoking was extremely common, socially accepted basically everywhere. It was deeply tied into business culture, nightlife, and most importantly in this case, masculinity. So when you see Kiryu casually lighting a smoke, it's not framed as being bad for you, but more of this is just what men like him do. Essentially, Yakuza 0 doesn't just make smoking look cool, it places you in a time where it was cool. This means that the game isn't filtering its characters through modern expectations. It's letting them exist as they are, as they were, flaws and all. That's something a lot of games today just don't allow anymore. And what's interesting is that Yakuza doesn't ignore the other side of this either. In the latest game, Kazuma Kiryu is dying. He's being diagnosed with cancer. And the game doesn't really stop to explain it. It doesn't point fingers and it doesn't turn into a lesson. It just exists. In the same way that everything else does. This means the game isn't trying to clean this up. It's not trying to say, this is good or this is bad. It's just willing to show you both sides of that coin. The control and the cost of that control. Without forcing a conclusion. Without stopping to tell you how to feel. And that makes it hit that much harder. By the time you get here, you've already seen what this kind of character looks like at their strongest. Calm, unshaken, and in control. But now, you're seeing what's left when time catches up to them. The game doesn't reconcile these two things for you. It just lets them exist side by side. Life has consequences, and the game doesn't sanitize that. That's what makes this feel so different from most games. It's not really about smoking, but more about what games are willing to show you. Modern games are bigger than ever. They're also more expensive than ever, more polished, and more carefully managed. And because of that, they've become a lot more controlled. Every system has a purpose, and every mechanic has to justify its use. In that kind of environment, there isn't much room for moments like this. The quiet, the slowness. These things are deemed unnecessary. Moments that don't give you anything, except a better understanding of who a character is. So they disappear, or they get turned into something quote-unquote useful. You lose the space for characters to exist without performing for the player, to sit in a moment, to be flawed, and to be human. And that's why something as simple as a character lighting a cigarette can feel so different now. It's not just a habit, it's a kind of storytelling. And it's a form of storytelling that most games don't make room for anymore. I think that's why this stuck with me so much. This isn't really about smoking. I didn't walk away from Yakuza and go down to the local convenience store and grab some smokes. But I did walk away understanding why it felt appealing in the first place. Not because it's good, or because it's something you should want, because of what it represents. Control, stillness, a sort of calm in a situational storm. A character who isn't being pulled in 100 different directions. Yakuza didn't make me love smoking again. It reminded me what games used to let characters do. I hope you guys liked the video. Let me know down below what you think or your thoughts about it. If you don't mind, leave me a like. It really helps a lot. It really pushes the video out for other people to see. And if anything I said resonated with you or you like this type of content, feel free to subscribe. Catch you guys on the next one.